I'm Kelly Murphy, Chief Operating Officer at the Museum of the American Railroad. Thank you for joining us today for the first video in our online educational outreach series. Today, we're going to talk about a substance which is tiny in comparison to the large equipment we normally equate with the railroad. This small substance is at the heart of all mainline and museum rail yards. Yes, we are going to talk about rocks, also known as ballast. Ballast has three main functions. First, it serves as a roadbed for track. It also keeps the track in alignment. And it provides adequate drainage to keep the track from becoming saturated so the cross ties don't rot. Here at the Museum of the American Railroad, we use two kinds of ballast. The first is mainline ballast, which is a large material that is about 3 to 4 inches across. The second type of ballast that we use here at the museum is called walking ballast. It's a smaller material, about 3/4 of an inch to an inch across, and it's friendlier in areas where people are walking. Walking ballast is mostly used in rail yards where switchmen and other railroad employees are on foot a lot. There are several types of material used for ballast. Those materials are limestone, granite, and even crushed concrete. Here at the Museum of the American Railroad, we use granite. It's a little more expensive, but it lasts longer and it's much more attractive. So where does all this rock come from? Well, we get our granite from quarries in Oklahoma, and it comes in a salt and pepper color, having black, brown, and pink tones. Before any track construction takes place, the soil is compacted and checked for porosity. Once the soil base is satisfactory, a special membrane is put down known as Geotech Fabric. It's a water-permeable material that prevents soil from working its way up through the ballast layers. There's more to laying track than just rocks and cross ties. Our track is constructed with 3 layers of material. The first layer is Geotech Fabric. The second is a substrate known as flex base, which is a special rock that helps to counter settling of the North Texas clay soil. The layer of flex base is generally 6 to 8 inches thick. The cross ties are then put in place, and then the track is constructed. Following track construction, the ballast material is poured over the rails and ties and then tamped into place. Tamping is working the ballast under the ties and around them in a tightly compacted fashion. Usually, 6 inches of ballast is worked under the ties and on top of the flex base. Then, additional ballast fills in between the ties and along the ends of the ties. It serves to keep the train in alignment and provide for drainage. The elevation of track is also achieved through tamping, providing a level, smooth surface for trains. Now, depending on the type of traffic which passes over the track, tamping is necessary periodically as part of a maintenance program to support alignment and correct elevation. Ballast can become saturated with substrate soil from the movement of trains, which is known as pumping. The weight of trains as they pass over the track puts pressure on the ties, forcing softer substrate material up through the ballast. The track then becomes somewhat soft and mushy, which requires the ballast to be removed and cleaned. Once performed by track gangs using hand tools, this is now accomplished by large machinery specifically designed to do that task. So now that you know a little bit more about ballast, we hope that you look at rocks in a totally different way. We thank you for joining us today. The Museum of the American Railroad is a not-for-profit corporation chartered in the state of Texas in 1962. Our mission is to enrich the lives of others through meaningful, relevant programs and exhibits that relate the diverse history and technology of the railroad and its profound impact on American life and culture. We'd like to hear from you. Contact us to provide your comments and suggestions, or better yet, make a contribution to ensure these great programs continue.